Ready? Please rise for a moment of silent prayer and the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Briggs? Here. Weiss? Here. Addie? Walking in the door?
Yep. Aye. Here. Okay.
Elder?
Here.
Libo?
Here.
Reese? Here. Sleep.
Not here. Would somebody like to make that motion to excuse Jim Sleek?
I'll make a motion to excuse
I
Councilman
second
Sleek.
it.
Okay. John Elder makes a motion to excuse Councilman Sleek and Angie Reese seconds. Roll call.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Libo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs? Yes.
Okay, council has a copy of the minutes from the last meeting, which was quite some time ago. Has had a chance to review them. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No? Okay, they'll stand as they are. We also have, council has a copy of the agenda for tonight. Are there any additions to the agenda? No? Okay, well, we'll get started with the first reading.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the mayor to prepare, sign, and enter into contracts for submission to the Ohio Public Works Commission for the State Capital Improvement Program, SCIP, and the Local Transportation Improvement Program, LTIP, annually for project funding.
Madam President,
Yes?
this resolution is simply a resolution asking council to support that we be eligible as a city to apply for our Sandusky County Improvement Programming Grant and our local transportation improvement grants. These are annual resolutions that we bring to council. I'd ask council to suspend Rule 4 as grants will be due around the middle of September.
Okay.
I make a motion to suspend.
And I'll second this.
Christine Weiss makes a motion to suspend Rule 4, and Denny Oddie seconds. Any further questions or comments about the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Libo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
John Elder moves to adopt, and Chris Leibold seconds. Any further questions? Roll call.
Elder?
Yes.
Libo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Approved.
First reading of the ordinance amending appropriations within General Fund 101, Public Safety Equipment Fund 420, Script Fund 461, and Water Replace Improvement Fund 541, and declared an emergency.
Madam President,
Yes.
I believe Auditor Gross sent an email to council explaining all of the necessary changes for the appropriations. I am not asking to suspend Rule 4, however, I am not sure if the auditor had requested this Rule 4 to be suspended.
Usually we do.
Yeah.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
Second.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule 4. Chris Leibold seconds. Any comments on the suspension of Rule 4? Okay, roll call.
Libo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
I move to adopt.
Second.
Angie Reese moves to adopt. John Elder seconds. Any further questions or comments? Roll call.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Libo?
Yes.
Approved.
First reading of an ordinance petitioning the Board of Sandusky County Commissioners to adjust the boundary lines of Sandusky Township so as to exclude the territory that, as a result of annexation, now lies within the corporate boundaries of the city of Fremont, submitted by Nelson Property LTD, annexation of .9710 acres, ordinance number 2026-4293.
Madam President,
Yes.
this property is in reference to the Wendy's property that council has already voted on to annex into the city. I believe this is a process that needs to be completed for tax purposes for the county. However, our city zoning director is here and can answer any questions, I believe, in reference to this.
That's exactly it. So basically now it's annexed in. It's requesting to the Sandusky County Commissioners to adjust the boundary lines. So the property came from Sandusky Township, and so now it's in the city. So we have to pass resolution to request to adjust the boundary lines of the township that it came from.
Make a motion to suspend Rule 4.
I'll second.
Christine Weiss makes a motion to suspend Rule 4, and Denny seconds. Any further questions or comments on the suspension of Rule 4?
I have a question.
On the suspension of Rule 4?
No.
Okay, roll call.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Livo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Okay.
I just want to know, this property was annexed into the city,
Correct.
and now whoever the owner is wants his property out of the city?
No.
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 This is,
It's a two-part procedure.
yeah, it's a procedure. It's
on the
it's
same
required by
property.
the ORC.
We do it on every annexation. After the property's brought in the city, then we change the
I couldn't
boundary
make out the
lines.
map, it was too small.
I got you.
The reason for the annexation, just to remind council and members of the public that are here this evening, it was a very interesting situation because the old Wendy's, the inside of the building is inside the city limits, but the parking lot is actually in the county. So if there was a car accident in the parking lot, the sheriffs would have jurisdiction. If there was a situation in the restaurant, Fremont Police would have jurisdiction. It was a weird situation. No one ever took time to clean it up. It's just simply a procedure issue. Now that the new Wendy's is being built, it was an opportunity with the property owner to just annex it all into the city. So that way the jurisdiction lies within the city of Fremont. So the city of Fremont police officers now have full jurisdiction of the entire property inside the city of Fremont.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, roll call.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Livo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and issuance of a warrant for payment of First reading of a resolution authorizing the mayor to file an application for submission to the Ohio Department of Natural Resource Grant Program and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, we already submitted the grant. However, since we did not have, it was just within the last several days. However, since we didn't have a city council meeting the last two meetings, the state grant allows you to still get a resolution from council after the grant is submitted. This is a $15,000 grant that we're applying for to make improvements to the Roger Young Court pickleball court. If you've noticed, if you've spent any time down there are hundreds of people that play there probably daily between sun up to sundown. It's been a great addition to the park when we made the changes, thanks to council working with our administration in the past. What this project's going to do, it's going to help start to fix some of the fencing down there. So the estimate for the fencing is $25,000, and this is a $15,000 grant that we're applying for to help offset that cost. I would ask council to suspend Rule 4 so we can submit the resolution to the state with council support.
I move to suspend Rule 4. James. I'll second it.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule 4. Danielle Briggs seconds. Any comments on the suspension of Rule 4? Okay, roll call.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Livo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
John Elder moves to adopt, and Chris Leibold seconds. Any further questions?
Just a comment,
Okay.
just kind of verify what the mayor said. Have you ever been to Roger Young Park any day of the week in the morning? those courts are packed. And I can't think of a better word than that. They're full, and they're full. And now high school kids have found the joy of pickleball, so it's recess all day and all night. That's, us old folks I don't do it, but older folks do it in the morning, the kids do it in the evening.
And can kids beat the older folks yet?
No.
And also, just to let council know, we also did resurface the basketball courts again this year, the John Lewis basketball courts. And just keeping up on them is important, because there's going to be another very, very large youth basketball tournament down there. There was one previously, several weeks ago, and another one. And the park is being fully utilized. And in my opinion, the more that park's utilized, the less problems you have. The more people with eyes and ears, the less problems you have. And knock on wood, the summer's been going pretty good down there so far.
Okay, roll call. Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Bible?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Approved.
We'll let you know if we get there.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and issuance of a warrant for payment of $5,113.23 to Al Ballman Chevrolet Buick Incorporated and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, we are asking for council to suspend Rule 4. This is a $5,113.23 payment that will be reimbursed to the city. There was a city vehicle that was hit while parked by a member from the public on February 18th, and that's the damages to get the vehicle fixed. However, insurance will be covering the cost of that, but we need to authorize the payment to Al Ballman, so that's paid.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
Second.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule 4. Chris Leibold seconds. Any further questions on the suspension of Rule 4? Okay, roll call.
Elder?
Yes.
Bible?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes. Move to adopt.
Second?
Chris Leibold moves to adopt. Christine Weiss seconds. Any further comments or questions? Roll call.
Bible?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Approved.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and issuance of a warrant for payment of $3,889.51 to Falls Way Equipment Company and declaring an emergency.
Madam President?
Yes.
I respectfully ask council to suspend Rule 4 again. This was for services that were given to Tower 1 of our fire trucks here within the city. What happened in this, there was no air on anyone from the city's end. The vendor failed to send the estimate in writing to the fire chief. The work was completed, the estimate came in, it was verbally, they knew what it was going to be, and it just happened to be on the timing that the PO just didn't get entered before the service was provided. So the cost was $3,889.51 to make those repairs.
I move to suspend Rule 4.
Second.
Angie Reese moves to suspend Rule 4. John Elder seconds. Any comments or questions on the suspension of Rule 4? Roll call.
Reese?
Yes.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Bible?
Yes.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Danielle Briggs moves to adopt. Chris Leibold seconds. Any further comments, questions? Roll call.
Briggs?
Yes.
Weiss?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Bible?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Approved. Okay. We'll go to department heads, and we don't really have any department heads here tonight.
Erica Williams.
Erica, yeah. Do you have anything tonight, Erica?
No, thank you. I don't have anything to add.
I would on Erica's behalf. Well, Erica's here tonight, and I think it's important to just talk a little bit about what she's been doing in the city. You know, as the summer we're halfway through the summer. Erica and her part-time employee that works in her department, Al, they have been working very hard out in the community, trying to enforce zoning violations to the best of their ability, working with the law director's office, doing everything they can to prevent folks from being cited into court. However, They've had a little bit of pressure on them from my office to make sure that we are holding people accountable within reason, enforcing cleanup of dilapidated properties, cleanup of tall grass, and a lot of those issues. I think, it's important for the public to understand that it's a little harder to get those folks with like the taller grass in the court based off of the timing. And by the time the grass is growing and they get the letters that are required by the law to get sent out. So it takes very, very diligent, patient conversations. Not saying that we do not do that, but that's our last effort. Our best effort is to just get the grass mowed and to find out why it's not being mowed and come up with some type of solution or resolution, whether someone's disabled or you just never know someone's circumstances. But if it's just flat out plain laziness or neglect, then the city is going to take every action that they can. So Erica submits weekly reports to me and the Safety Service Director, and they are actively trying to address those issues within the city. I've given her 4 or 5 citizen complaints over the last week that she's resolved, so I'd like to commend her for that. And Erica, if there's any other updates, to council that I've missed, you can kind of update them. If there's anything in addition you want to add.
No, I don't have anything additional to add. It's been very busy. It's been a very rainy, busy summer. We've had over, I'd say, 700 and something occurrences. We try to stay ahead of things. Like Mayor Sanchez said, we try to, sometimes people go through things. So we just try to take in consideration what they're going through, the reasoning for it behind what's going on, and we try to educate them on the ordinances. So we've got a new approach. We tell ourselves we're out to educate people. So a lot of people don't understand the ordinances, so we're out explaining what's allowed, what's not permitted, things like that. What you need permits for, what kind of use you're allowed to use in the different zoning districts, that sort of thing. So we've been out busy. It doesn't matter what's going on. We're out early, late, after hours, whatever it takes to meet with property owners to, address their concerns and issues. So.
Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Recognizing that you're busy, but having little kids on bikes and doing a lot of stroller pushing in my life, I would really like it if we could get back on sidewalks. I mean, there's a lot.
Actually, I have.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, good. All right.
So yes. So as part of.
And how can I help you? Because I know where they are.
So right now I am working on a sidewalk inventory list. So I'm out with our GPS and I'm measuring all the sidewalks for the city. It's going to take some time. It's going to take me and Al. So we just started that this summer. So hopefully we can get the sidewalk program up and running again here in the near future. But we got to get the data first and meet with the administration.
We've also been discussing, this was prior to my administration, I don't know how effective it was, maybe it worked wonderful, maybe there's folks in the community that might remember this, but I think as a city we need to look at creating opportunities for folks to, I believe the city had a sidewalk program in the past where the city contracted with an outside provider and they were able to get a rate for citizens that may have been better than other rates from what I've heard. And it was assessed to the taxes of the property owner. And I know there's some challenges on that within what's within our budget means and what we can allocate a year and how we work that out. So I definitely, Eric and I are exploring different options with the law director to talk about that. And, maybe we could put a small team together of a council member or two that could work with our administration to try to come up with a plan to best serve the residents, but also make sure that it's within the budget of the city.
I think what happened when it originally started.
I just wasn't here when it happened.
Well, when it originally started, the city treasurer and myself, we had to replace our sidewalk when it first started about 29 years ago. And it was at your own cost, or the city would do it and then bill you for it. Now they're doing, they went and marked all like you're doing. And that was the only time the city's done that.
Okay.
It was about 30 years ago.
No, it was about 12 years.
It was more than that. I had my sidewalk. I had to do just the one side. And I thought, well, at least when I do the front side, I didn't have to do it, it wasn't one big, huge bill.
Correct.
And so the front of my sidewalks never got done because the program stopped. And that's been at least 20 years ago.
I think it's worth looking into.
Okay, so exactly what it was. 1920, or it was 2000. Maeve was born in 1997. It was 1998 because her handprints and footprints are in our sidewalk. Yeah.
So anyway.
Thank you, Councilman Lible.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good to hear. Thanks, sir.
Good, Ed?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we'll move on to elected officials. Mayor Sanchez?
I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that participated in the 4th of July parade. This week has been, since the 4th of July has been very crazy, a lot of vacations, but council and members of the public and the community and the staff in the city, I mean, it was one of my favorite days just being mayor in the city. There was just so much going on. It was hot as heck, but it was a great day. It was cool. It didn't matter what party you were, it didn't matter who you were, it was just a group of people that wanted what was best for Fremont, so it was a beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you. Jim Melly?
I wish I could have went to all the festivities, but as you can hear in my voice, I was sick as a dog. I've been sick for 2 weeks. It's nice to be out and talking to people today, so that's all I have. But I followed it all on Facebook, and it looked like it was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, and the fireworks went till 3 in the morning, and I'm sure y'all were wondering if, like with the law, are we supposed to stop at a certain time? And then the following weekend, they were allowed to do it again. I don't know if you guys all knew that, but they were allowed to do it again. Because I got asked that. I'd walk outside and be like, are they allowed to do it now? I'm like, yeah, they're allowed to do it again. So that's all I have. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Holly Elder?
Thank you, Madam President. I don't really have anything official to say, but I just want to piggyback on the pickleball. You know, there's been a lot of conversations about what's happening with Burchard Park, and I'm a morning walker, so I'm out early and walking, and Councilman Lible, I'm with you, I know all the sidewalks. But I will say that everything that has happened with the conversation on Burchard Park, it's been, I think that the outcome is going to be fantastic. And I hate to bring attention to the people that do play pickleball at Burchard Park, because I think they love the privacy of it and the quietness of it. But if you don't think that park is being used, it is. Because probably 2 or 3 mornings out of the week when I walk by, there are people playing pickleball on the court up there, and there are always basketball games going on with kids on the basketball courts. So it'll be fun to see what happens with Burchard Park. Also, I just want to highlight what's happening right now with the wildfires. And right before I came down, I had a notice that Toledo News is issuing a stay inside. If you do not have to be outside, to stay inside, because the air particulates right now are above 600. And just to let people know that anything from 301 to 500 particulates is considered hazardous, which emergency conditions, so the entire population of communities can be affected. So please, everyone, whether you have respiratory issues or not, put a mask on before you have to go outside. We aren't sure how long, no one's sure how long this is going to last, and if we don't get rain or the winds don't change. There's nothing wrong with wearing a mask. I put one on before I left the house today. So those of you with respiratory conditions, if you don't have to leave your homes, stay inside. If you do have to leave your homes, please do not be embarrassed to put on a mask. So thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak? If so, come up here and state your name and address.
Good evening. My name is Joe Quaintance. I live at 1812 Oak Lane in Fremont. And my concern is there's housing. I was told there's housing going in down on the end of Oak Lane at the dead end. And I just want to know something about it. Is that going to be low-income housing? What is it? We don't want low-income housing in our neighborhood. And if you put a $250,000 house in a $150,000 neighborhood, no bank's going to loan you that money. That's the same. You can't buy a $10,000 car for $15,000. A bank's not going to loan you the money because you're not going to get their money back if anything happens.
I was speaking with the gentleman prior to the council meeting. Mr. Gross is not here this evening. He would be the one to best answer this question. I do know that. I don't know that there are any specific plans,
No.
that are going on in that specific area. I know that there were some city lots there that we did. I
Yeah,
think
we got
council
squeezed
has-
in like two things at the end of your street?
Yes.
Is that exactly what you're referring to?
Yes.
Down there?
There
Okay.
there was, go ahead, Erica, do you have some information on this?
Well, I believe those are the lots at the end, right by Oak Harbor Road, and those were for the Who houses, for the Welcome Home Ohio. For the land bank. So
However, that
it doesn't
grant-
mean that they're low income.
Right.
Yeah.
They're just, yeah, those lots were,
However, that grant, the land bank did not get that grant.
correct.
So right now, there are no.
They're waiting on
current-
the next round.
Yeah, there's no current plans. There's nothing to share today because there was the grant, they applied for a grant that they didn't receive. So there's nothing, it's not that the city's not being transparent, there's just nothing to share right now on that. And their, the Ohio Housing Grant Guidelines are listed on the website by the state. And their, the program, I'm not gonna get into the whole program tonight. If we can discuss that later on when Bob gets back with council, and Bob, we could reach out and get your information.
Before you guys go to develop that, can the neighbors have some say into any of that?
Maybe, maybe not, because the city doesn't own the lots. We're not the ones building, the city of Fremont, like, we're not building the houses.
Oh, well, the city of Fremont owns the lots.
I don't know that we do right now anymore.
According to the maps, you do.
We donated, didn't we?
Did we donate?
Yeah.
Instead of donating them for free, what if you would have gave the people living there the chance to buy the lots?
I live at 1847 Oak Lane, and that's the side lot that you guys donated is next to my house.
Okay. Yeah, the land may have been donated to the land bank.
To the land bank.
I just don't have the information, so I don't want to misspeak. I mean,
Okay.
I can't remember everything that
They
goes
told us it was
on.
donated.
Yeah, and it may have been donated to the land bank,
Board meeting on Tuesday.
The land bank board meeting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, to build houses there. The goal is to build houses. I can tell you that, I know that's the goal. I mean, that goal was presented to council, it's to build homes. I mean, we need more homes in the city.
But he could buy that property from the land
Now
bank.
you guys
also.
donated it to them, all I can do is make an offer.
Right.
But the problem is, what I see is that was a donated lot. So that's a pure profit for you guys and them and whoever's invested into it. So.
It's not a profit for the city if we
Well,
donate it.
they're gonna benefit to keep going.
Well, the theory of the land bank in general is if they can get the land back into production, that's producing property taxes. And when we own it, we're not producing property taxes. We're just maintaining
You
it.
guys kept the upkeep on a property that hasn't had a building on it in over 50 years almost.
That's
You
debt to
guys
the
could have
city.
came to me and asked me if I would have mowed the property,
We would have bought it.
or yeah, I would have loved to bought it. I would have at least put
We
a
asked.
4-car garage or something. And my neighbor actually put a $6,000 offer in on the property next to his, that was donated. And you guys could have counter-offered on that.
Our only grievance is we just dumped $130,000 into our house, and new windows, new siding, roof, and solar.
So you guys are concerned that whatever is built is gonna hurt your home value?
I'm
No,
not
they're
worried about
raising.
that, but the people there, they're already looking at what kind of houses to build. It's supposed to be equivalent to the square footage of our house. My house is only 1,009 square foot. They put a 1,200 square foot ranched out house. And based off of some of the houses there, but that's a $250,000 ranched out house.
I just had my insurance redone, and my insurance company told me to replace my house is going to be between $275,000 and $300,000
Okay.
where I'm at. And my concern is if you build that house there, that's a $150,000 neighborhood if you look across AIM Realty. No bank's going to loan money for that house anyhow. You're not going to, a bank's not going to loan you $275,000 to buy a house in a $150,000 neighborhood.
And our property taxes are going to go.
Yeah, and then.
And then our
it's gonna
property
stop
taxes
being
will
our
go
different
up.
property tax.
And if you look in the neighborhood from Elmhurst on down, there's probably 18 to 20 houses, and 16 to 18 of them are retirees on a fixed income that can't afford a property tax increase. And this is kind of my concern, and I wanted to bring it up.
Thank you for addressing your concern, I appreciate you coming down.
I mean, I got other questions too. If it does get developed, that road is a turnaround.
Is that in?
And then they said it's up to the city is, well, are they gonna open that back up to Oak Harbor Road?
Will that always stay remain a dead end?
I can't answer your question still.
Okay.
Right.
Because I live there
But
because
this
it is a dead end. Because my grandkids play there because it's a quiet street.
Yeah, I don't think two houses would make the difference of a whole construction change on the road.
If you open it up to Oak Harbor Road, it would. If they would open it up to Oak Harbor Road instead of keeping it a dead end.
Yeah, I just don't have the answer tonight.
Okay.
Right, I get it, I just wanna try.
I'm willing to
get
try to
things-
help answer your questions, but I'm not gonna just answer your question to tell you something that I'd rather tell you the truth than an ugly lie. I just don't know.
That's
I don't know
fine.
the answer.
Right,
We want to
right.
voice our concerns, so
No.
now you guys have a
Yeah.
better idea
And I
of
appreciate
how
that.
the neighbors are feeling.
Sure.
And as the elected officials, I'll be honest with you, I voted for most of you in here I could vote for. And I did that with the trust that we could work together and stuff like this.
Yeah, I'm glad you came tonight because there's some things that you might have or some current concerns that, that I don't necessarily know. You know, me as the mayor, I don't make every decision. I try to let, you know, the department heads kind of run their departments and
Totally
we have,
understand.
you know, we have larger goals for the city and obviously housing is a goal, right?
Yes.
But sometimes maybe there's an unintended consequence that you might bring up that says, hey, we just want to exercise our concern for this. Hey, can you guys think this? Can you take this into consideration? And then, and I think it's great that you're here tonight. And sometime next week, if you'd like to schedule a visit with Bob Gross in my office, or maybe even with Erica, we can figure out and try to answer some of your questions.
Okay.
What I can tell you tonight, right now, sitting here tonight, is that grant did not get that grant. So right now, there are no plans that I'm aware of to build a home on that property. But what I will also tell you is the city of Fremont does not own that lot anymore.
Okay.
So it is zoned residential R1. So there's nothing I can do as the mayor to stop the land bank from building a house there today. There's nothing anyone on city council can do to stop that. In fact, we all want to see housing because we have not enough housing in our community. And sometimes it's hard as elected officials, and I know you can appreciate this, because we get a lot of the not in my backyard type, you know, we don't want this or we don't want that. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to fill in vacant lots in the city to increase our density in our community, to make sure that we can try to meet the need of the folks that live in our community to have young families be able to buy a home. I have a 26-year-old daughter with 3 grandkids that needs to be able to buy a home. And this grant program would allow a working class family to be able to utilize this grant to be able to purchase home that maybe they might not otherwise be able to purchase. And I hear your concern about, are you going to put a $250,000 home in my $150,000 neighborhood, okay? I bought my house for $100,000 5 years ago. I'm not a wealthy person. I'm no different than you, okay? So, based off inflation, my house might be worth $150,000 today, but to rebuild my house is probably $200,000 to $300,000 just because of the cost of everything going up. With that being said, with this grant, that the way I understand this grant, what it does, it offsets the construction cost, and like the construction cost might be $220,000, and then the house would sell for a minimum price based off the grant standards, but you have to meet a certain credit score, you have to have certain requirements.
Tied to it, like they can't pay for 10 years or.
There's certain steps that in order for a person, so I try not to be, and I know you're not, I don't think you're saying it like you don't just want low income. I mean, the word low income, I'm trying to get that out of my head because low income is perception to what someone believes, and we're trying to use the words affordable housing because what's affordable to you might not be affordable to me, vice versa.
Okay.
You know, so my response to you in reference to the bank situation is the reason why this grant program is an option, and I don't know if you've done any homework or not, but if you get some time, search the New Housing Ohio grant. It's going all over the state of Ohio, okay? And it's an initiative that the state is putting in place to increase housing because housing is an issue not only in Fremont but everywhere in Ohio. And there are grants that are opportunities, in my opinion, to help young families be able to afford a place to live. And I think your concerns are valid. I think that we need to talk about them, and you just don't know the answers. So as far as the financing thing, the banks will finance these houses because the price of these homes is gonna meet the value, because you gotta remember the house is being offset by the grant, you know, and that's how the folks are able to get the loan. But they gotta have the credit score, they gotta have a job, they gotta have certain requirements, you know. So these are all things, I promise you, that when we're looking at making decisions, now I'm talking to you from the time I was in the room when we're having the conversations. When I have the higher level conversations, I kind of walk out of the room and let the economic development director and the zoning director and all those guys figure out the weeds of that, because, you know, there's certain requirements, there's setback requirements, there's, you know, making sure that the proper infrastructure is there. And that's what Erica and the engineering department specialize in, and her and Bob Gross work together to try to make sure that there is enough room for a house to be similar to maybe what you live in. The goal isn't to put some Taj Mahal in a neighborhood that doesn't fit, to fit the neighborhood, okay? So and she appears to know more than I do, okay? So I don't know, because I haven't seen it. I'm not saying that she's wrong, but it's kind of interesting tonight, because usually we get the opposite. We get, hey, this house is running down my neighborhood, get this house fixed up. But so tonight it kind of sounds like, hold on, we don't want this expensive house because it's going to increase my neighborhood. So you're kind of, it's like there's a balance, a dark, you know, it's an unintended consequence to, and trust me, I can appreciate the property tax situation. I mean, like I said, I get it. The taxes go up based off inflation. We don't control that here at the city. The county does. Go ahead, Councilman Briggs, sorry.
So these were the properties that we voted on earlier this year, right?
Correct.
Okay, a lot of these questions that you had were also asked during that meeting as well. So even in between the time that you're able to meet with mayor, it might be worth a look going back at that council meeting, because we had a pretty lengthy discussion going through all of these. So
Do you know the date?
Ooh.
I can.
Okay.
We can get that.
Oh yeah, we can.
Yeah.
It was probably March-ish.
February, March. The agenda's archived on the city website, and it wasn't that long ago.
No, because Danielle was here.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you can find the corresponding video if you'd like.
I know you don't get a lot of FaceTime with
Or go back and look at the
us, so
minutes.
I don't mind spending a little bit of time talking to you tonight. Okay, and I know the weather is all messed up, but you folks took the time to be here. Councilwoman Briggs is correct. We did have lengthy conversations. In your mind, you're probably thinking, well, if we would have known, we would have been here, but we didn't know. So unfortunately, it's hard for us as elected officials. We try to be transparent and get information out, but it's hard for us to just go knock on everyone's door, and you're like, well, hey, if it affected us, you could have just knocked on our door. I try to think if I'm in your situation, right? And you feel like you're finding out later, and this was all done transparent. It was talked about during several council meetings. There were plans, there were studies, there were surveys. But if you have any more questions for me, I'll answer them. If not, I'll stop.
Okay, that's fine. And the other concern I have was, since they've done Oak Harbor Road, every time it rains, the water in our houses turn color.
Yeah.
The one neighbor lady's toilet water actually looked like somebody dumped Coke in it.
What color is it turning?
It's brown.
It's brown.
I get the main water off of Oak Harbor Road on the first house there.
Okay. Can you do me a favor? Take
Got that picture?
I don't need it now. I believe you, but maybe start taking pictures of that water, like.
We got one from Monday or Tuesday.
No, I hear you. But from this point on, if you're getting clear water tonight and it hasn't rained, try to take pictures. That way we can start to show a pattern from Thursday tonight if it's clear, and then it's supposed to rain this weekend if that happens again.
Okay.
Okay. And then I can talk to our water treatment director and our street director and figure out. And then if you also want to take a sample of the water, get a sample of the water, and we can get the water tested for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Do the sidewalk program again?
Yep.
Double check the work, because mine was part of that project 12 years ago. So if I did not pay my water bill and you had to shut my water off, you got to chisel my water tap out on my sidewalk. And the spots there to replace is I've already looked it back up, and I mean, if I do end up getting housing development put next to me, I am moving.
Okay.
So it does sound bad, but I'll keep my property, but I won't let nobody buy or sell
Okay.
on it.
I respect that. All right, thank you for coming.
I would just like to add, if you can also call the engineer's office so we can research, why your water is.
Okay.
Yeah, it all started when the water lines kept breaking going into Potter Village. They broke multiple times there. That's why they had the patches in. But I know I sucked up some soot the last time they returned it back on after they replaced the lines. I had to have my lines back on because I had my lines getting snaked out. So I know I sucked a little bit of sludge into my lines, but it was mostly just my outside spigot system. But it will mess up. Everything flows fine, but it messed up quite a few houses on the street. It took a little while to get out of it.
There was a lot of older.
Turn it on and let it run after
Yeah.
a shut off or
Yeah.
a reconnection, and that will clear it up as well.
Oh, it would-
Call the
it would-
engineer's office
It would
and we
take a
can
while
help you
to
out.
clear up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of older neighbors in my neighborhood, and I've drained 3 different hot water heaters for older neighbors, just to get them clear water.
I wonder if it needs flushed over there.
Yeah.
No,
It's been this way ever since they finished the Oak Harbor Road project. I never had an issue before.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you. My name is Brandon Elliott. I'm 2642 Stanford Drive, and I was just down the road from the Gibsonburg talking to the mayor over there. And I moved up here in the fall from Atlanta, and I work for an organization called Falcon Forge. So I've been all the way from Erie, Lake Erie, Huron, all the way to Toledo. I love this area, and I want to introduce myself to you. But last fall, my best friend from high school convinced me to move up here because he coded a solution to something your law director is very familiar with, Revised Code 9.64. And so while a lot of people are scrambling around putting evidence in silos and here and there trying to meet that law or passing a policy last fall, we built the dashboard. And so Catawba Island Chief Gangway was probably the hardest skeptic we faced, but we're doing work for them now in Port Clinton. And basically our customers in under 30 seconds can begin talking to an auditor and do an entire presentation of their cyber posture. So you're the guy I wanted to see anyway, and I was going to wait, but I did want to introduce myself and just tell you that, heck, I love this area, and I'm coming back for the pirate thing next door in the other town and everything, and I've already got my girlfriend up here from Atlanta, but I just want to introduce myself. That's it.
Thank you.
No complaints, and also I met Mr. Audi out the parking lot.
Okay, would you like to do committee reports? I know Danielle does. Okay, Danielle, you can go first with Parks and Recreation.
Fantastic, thank you, Madam President. So it'll be fairly quick. Annual maintenance shutdown during the week of the fair, so August 24th through the 30th, the pool will be shut down for maintenance, just so you're not planning to have a pool day during the fair. And as far as recreation around Fremont, I've been getting an increasing number of calls about e-bikes. And I know that we've discussed e-bikes a lot this year. I know Ward 1 constituents are really concerned about e-bikes. When they're pulling out of their driveways, e-bikes just zooming down the sidewalks. A kid got hit, and so it's really concerning. So I looked into it, and Twinsburg recently passed an ordinance for e-bikes, so I don't know if that's something that we want to look into. It's a city that's relatively our size, maybe a little bit bigger, but if we're able to either look into that, see if it's size fit for Fremont.
What was it about? Did they pull it up?
So it's for safety reasons, registration of e-bikes. I know that you can register your bikes with the police department, but it was beyond and more official ways to register e-bikes.
I've probably this week taken 15 calls.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, at the NOMA, the Northwest Ohio Managers and Mayors Association meeting, and any of you folks that are attending any other meeting, every city is dealing with the same thing. I think it is a local issue, and I think maybe there is something that needs to be done. I do see the calls for service. I mean, they are everywhere and they are out of control. That's the problem.
What would be nice is if they would bring back like the old moped law. Back in the days when mopeds, you had to be 14 to get a license to drive one. if they brought back a law like that and you had to take a regular test.
The problem is a lot of the states already set the standards on these, and I don't believe that the state has caught up with the issues that's happening in our communities.
Yeah.
And we're trying to deal with this from a law enforcement side, and we don't have the money from a law enforcement side to enforce it, and it's just out of control.
Yeah, and that's what was nice back when they had the old moped.
Agreed, I remember. You had to have a helmet, you had to have a moped license, I had one.
Well, the police department worked really hard this spring on working in the middle school and high school with the kids on etiquette, proper usage, and things like that. How much of it sunk in?
Not much.
You don't know. I mean, for everyone we've seen, I watched three e-bike kids stop at the corner of Hayes and Park with bike helmets on, and stopped, and then turned after all the cars left. So I've seen proper etiquette.
Yeah.
Oh, if you
As much
saw
as
them
crazy
stop, you
as-
see a lot more than I do. Usually they don't
And
stop.
there's a handful that do. There are ones that do. And there's not, I use the bike trail quite a bit. There's not a lot of activity on the bike trail. That was one of the concerns. It's a concern. I'm not going to deny it. But
It is.
there are also, some of these people, it's their only transportation mode.
I'm just saying of the calls that I get,
Right.
They're-
it's
always the negative
overwhelmingly
ones.
the most.
Right.
Me too.
Right.
And if you get that ordinance, I'd be interested in.
Yeah.
seeing that. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up.
And Mr. Mayor, on that, if I'm out driving around or something I see, and is there anything as councilman we can do, try to take down a license plate number or anything we can do at the time?
There's no
With e-bike, there is no
You
license.
can't identify them, that's the problem.
Yeah.
You can't turn anybody in.
You can scold them, Denny. Oh, yeah, right.
You just watch for them, make sure you don't hit them when they run in front of you.
That's about it.
Yeah, and I figured I could call the police, but by the time they get there.
Oh, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Some of them e-bikes can go up to 70 mile an hour. I know a guy that has one.
Teenagers aren't allowed
I
to
do.
drive those.
Can we go ahead?
Yes, Christine.
Okay, so GLCAP has a summer crisis program. It is available from July 1st to September 30th. It is available in our county. The program assists with electric utility bills, central air conditioning repairs, and air conditioning or fan purchases for eligible households. Criteria includes households with a member who is age 60 or older, households with a member who has documented medical condition verified by a licensed medical professional who is qualified under Ohio law to write prescriptions, households that have electric utility disconnect notice, are in disconnect or in need of transferred or new electric service. And the information is available on the GLCAP website for this program.
Thank you.
Do they have a, what do I want to say, income level or anything? Do they have anything like that? 150% poverty or?
It's not on the criteria list that I just read, but
Gotcha.
there may be further information on the website.
All right, thanks.
Danielle, were you done?
I was, thank you.
Okay, just making sure. Who do I want to pick next? How about Denny, streets and utilities?
I have nothing worth mentioning tonight.
Okay. Chris Leibold, finance and labor.
Nothing in way of a committee report, Madam President, but I will steal this for council comment. Former Governor Ted Strickland was in town last night, and he said he drove around and he complimented the city on its cleanliness and said it looked better than he remembered in a sense. So I thought that was
Quite
noteworthy and nice
Yeah,
of him to say.
Very nice.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Angie Reese, Citizen Service Committee.
Thank you, Madam President. Just continuing on with the comments that Mr. Leibel said about the former Governor Strickland mentioning about how nice our town looks. I've had so many comments about that, especially last week when we had the ribbon cutting ceremony, that Greater Lake Erie Regional something came to town and opened up a satellite office. All of those people, I've known them now since I've been on council because I started going to TMACOG meetings. At that time it was called TMACOG, now it's Greater Lake Erie. Anyhow, they all commented on how beautiful Fremont is, the downtown area and everything. And that was the one thing that goes along with Councilman Leibel. The other thing I'd like to say is I don't have anything about the police department. I haven't had a chance to talk to Chief yet. In the fire department, I noticed how they're using the old Otto and Urban's property that's going to be demolished by the land bank. I think they've been using it for exercises out there. I've been seeing the fire trucks out there. And then another thing I'd like to mention is just like Ms. Briggs has complaints about e-bikes. I get complaints about animals. And I met one of my residents the other day. I've known of her for years, but she introduced herself to me, and then I said, well, just don't forget, you know, if you have any problems or comments, just call me. She says, I do have a problem. Oh, gosh. It was animals, skunks. I've had that mentioned to me quite a few times, and I think I was gonna say because of that little Bark Creek thing, but that doesn't go all the way through 3rd Avenue or 3rd Ward. I don't know what to do about the animals. I do recommend that you get some animal repellent that they sell at Lowe's or Walmart, and that has helped. I don't know if I can mention.
Mothballs help. I have
don't
5
know.
skunks under my deck.
See?
Oh,
Is that what she's
and they're
complaining
so
about
cute.
this?
The little babies are so cute. No, I sent them over to Jackie. Should they go? They walk right down the alley, and I call my friend who lives on Park Avenue and tell her. Skunks are headed your way.
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Mint helps with skunks. So we
Mint?
have under.
Mint, that's what she said.
All right.
I don't know if I'm allowed to mention a product that I've used, and I had cats coming in my flower beds, and they were cracking up, and I put some of this animal repellent, and that's the name of it, animal repellent, and the cats don't perceive it. So that's all I have to say.
Well, that's good.
Well, the problem is they mix in with strays, so they'll eat cat food with cats. They're very friendly with cats. I've seen it happen. They get used to hanging out with stray cats, and they all eat the same food together. So they're friends, like happy little kids.
Okay, so let's move on. Thank you. Laws, rules, and ordinances, John Elder.
Thank you, Madam President. The group that wanted to address and recognize immigrants would like to look at that issue, so that may be coming up in our near future, just FYI. Other than that, I have nothing.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any comments they'd like to say?
I want to say one thing. The parks look great, and I heard this is Kenny Dumminer's last year doing fireworks. And I think he had a heck of a show, probably one of the best he's ever put on.
That's the best show Fremont's had in years.
In years.
Good. I thought so too.
And Charlie Baxter.
Good old timers that did a lot for the city.
We should give him an award or something for all the years of doing what he's done.
We should.
From Denny to Denny. I love it.
Okay, well, if someone would like to make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Okay, roll call.
Briggs?
Yes.
Lees?
Yes.
Addie?
Yes.
Elder?
Yes.
Ivo?
Yes.
Reese?
Yes.
Thank you.